Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting little post here that I stumbled across on Twitter. So, remember during the whole Infinity Nikki shenanigans, everybody was upset and all of those things, and Infold had released an official apology letter for the player base. So, there's this apology letter, right? And it was basically not really an apology. It was basically like, we did this, you gotta get used to it, and we're not gonna change it, kind of thing. So that's what this apology was basically like. And there's this user here named Jay, and they're saying it's honestly very strange that we've never done anything like this, that they've never done anything like this for lads. And I have my own personal theories as to why they've never actually done this. So, my first theory is well, they're not going to do it because if they have an apology letter, they are admitting to some sort of fault. And if they are admitting to some sort of fault, then that means that they have to compensate their players in one way or another, right? Either they provide us with the equivalent of the what was it, the Knights Round Table or something that Infinity Nikki said. So it's either they do something like that, or they admit that the quality of the things that they're releasing for Love and Deep Space isn't good enough, or it's not up to par, or they're charging too much, which they would by the way, they're never gonna say that. So they would have to admit to some sort of fault, right? So that is the first and foremost thing. I feel like they're never going to do, because in Fold, Love and Deep Space is their cash cow. I've been saying this for so many videos now. I've been saying this for so many months, but Infold truly is focused on Love and Deep Space, because Love and Deep Space brings out the worst in people in order for them to like compete against one another inside of the community itself, in order to like spend more and all of these things, not only because they like the characters and all of those shenanigans, but because they cause the infighting. If you've seen my previous video, you know that there is a theory allegedly that Infold is the one who like instigates the infighting in the community, sending out fake players, disguising them as one love interest follower, and then suddenly that fake account reveals themselves to be a different love interest's follower, which I believe is such a diabolical way of controlling and manipulating the community itself. But they clearly, if that is the case, right, if this is proven to be true, because this is all alleged, that would just mean that they want to force infighting. They want that because it helps drive sales for some reason, because the CN community is very much obsessed with a lot of these different competitions and whatnot about different love interests or characters. It doesn't need to be Otome game centric either. It just has to be game centric, where these characters need to place number one or whatever in this like competition. So there is that. And then the other side of this, why we don't get this apology letter, okay? Another reason why we don't get this apology letter is because we don't have the same united community that Infinity Nikki had. Infinity Nikki, I feel like, was incredibly lucky, and they were the perfect man, it just sucks the way that everything played out. They were the perfect community to really band together and girlcott, boycott, whatever, Infold, because they were united as one. They all played as one character, they all played as one story. There was no divide because of different love interests. They were all in the game to enjoy, be pretty, be happy, explore the world, and enjoy the story. For Love and Deep Space, it is so completely different. There is the factor of the love interest, which is the centric part of Love and Deep Space, that causes people to be very opinionated be very parasocial. And there is nothing like that in Infinity Nikki. That's why Infinity Nikki's community was known for being so wholesome, was known for being so chill, because they were all just like minded people joining the same kind of game. Now, I'm wondering if Infold regrets making a game like Infinity Nikki because they realize that, the community is very much more difficult to manipulate, I guess, because, there's no infighting. You can't pit these people against each other if there's no like driving force for that, which is the love interest in Love and Deepspace. So in Love and Deepspace, we don't have that united front, and that is something that I've been saying for the past few months too. We don't have a united community. That is the farthest thing that we have across all platforms, across all different servers. It is so difficult for anybody to agree on like the smallest things, and it is going to take a massive mess up by the company in order for anybody to agree on anything. And it is so frustrating. And I don't know how big of a mess up like Infold has to do in order for the community to actually like bond together and be like, oh my god, that was so messed up. I cannot believe that they did that. Because right now, even if like things come out that are super like price oriented, meaning like you have to spend and not free to play, you have this fight between free to play people and people who spend and people who are whales. And then if you start having a conversation about, oh, but this love interest, their myth was, nerfed, Xavier's myth was nerfed. And then if another group of people say Silas and Caleb are missing content, blah 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 blah, the other love interests like groups will be like, no, you should be quiet, it's gonna go away, like they have to do this, blah 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 blah. And there's like excuses. The community makes excuses for the company. The company doesn't need to apologize for anything because the community themselves will come up with the excuses that provide Infold the reason to be scot-free of everything. And it is going to take, like I said, it is going to take a massive mess up for Infold to do to Love and Deepspace for the community to even agree on anything. It has to be like a huge bug or something in the game for everybody to be like, oh my god, what happened? It's either everybody loses their, okay, I'm not gonna jinx anybody, so I'm gonna knock on wood later, but it's either everyone loses all of their 5-star cards or they lose all of their currency. Like, it has to happen whether you're free to play, whether you're a whale. It has to happen whether you like Silas or whether you like Raphael. It has to be everybody. And that is literally the only way Infold will ever make an apology like this. Okay? Will ever make an apology like this. This happened with the 1.5 update. If we had an update that completely effed up the game, we would get an apology like this. Okay? I am not hoping for that to happen. I do not want that to happen because that would be incredibly detrimental to everybody. And I don't call for that, okay? That is not what I'm trying to say that I want happening to the game. I want positive change to happen without any big, huge mess up to occur. And you can hear this. This is some wood, okay? I am knocking on wood. So, I'm biting my tongue. So there. That is the case here. The other situation, the only other way that the game is going to get fixed, okay, is if we have competition. If there is a company out there, bless your soul, please make a game that is comparable to Love and Deepspace, so that way Infold will treat its player base properly. Now, it is incredibly scary if you think about it. If another company comes out and follows Infold's example, we are completely screwed. That is why I'm hoping for somebody like the Kuro Games, the yeah, company like them to make a game that is like Love in Deep Space. Somebody who actually cares about the female player base. Some company that has a female CEO who is not misogynistic, who cares about the female experience, who genuinely cares about the female experience and doesn't just see us as money bags. Like, genuinely. It's so frustrating. It is so sad. And yeah. So that is why I don't think an apology letter is ever going to come out, which is very unfortunate. And it's something that I've thought about. When this happened, I genuinely sat and I thought about it. I'm like, will Interfold ever issue one for lads? And I was thinking about it and mulling it over for a very long time, and then, you know, a lot of different things happened in my life. It slipped away, but now I was reminded about it and everything came rushing back, so I had to record a video. But yeah, that is my personal opinion about this. It's more of like a discussion rather than like, I don't think that this is a drama video, to be perfectly honest. I think this is more of like a theory video, in terms of like theory of the community and theory about how the community could possibly potentially be better. But yeah, that's pretty much. Let me know what your comments are down below. I would love to know what your opinions are about this topic, because this is something that I feel so passionately about. The fact that we could have a united community, okay? We could. If people would just let go of their egos, if people would just let go of their parasocial feelings, or their thought that it's a gacha game, of course it's gonna be greedy. Like, if everyone let go of all of those feelings, we would actually have a united community, and it would be a beautiful thing. It would be a beautiful thing, but unfortunately, no, that's not happening. But let me know. What do you think? Anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbering now, because I'm hungry and I want to go eat. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I am Lynn, the Gacha Goblin, and you can also become a member down below too. Help me fund for a computer so I can have better, not scuffy streams. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And if you want to join our Discord, go ahead and click the link. If the link doesn't work, let me know in the comments, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye now.